It's Jersey Baseball Show. We welcome you today as we get closer to the season. We got a special high school edition with the outstanding catcher down in South Jersey, Mainland High School, Cole Campbell.
What's up, guys?
Cole's going to have an easy year this year. He's got nobody throwing over 100 to him. Cole was the catcher for Chase Petty last year, outstanding player in his own right. He is headed to NJIT, some grit ball coming up next year. With the Highlanders. We'll talk about all that and a lot more. And thanks for coming on, Cole. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Let's talk about school first. NJIT, how'd that go? How did we get connected up there? It's funny because it's a school that was, for years like a D1 kind of afterthought, like nobody really wanted to go there at all. Things have obviously changed a lot the last few years. You saw him play Arkansas in the NCAA tournament, among others, last year. How did you find them? And give me the excitement level for heading up to there after this season's over.
So how that ended up happening was my coach, my coach for PPC, Ed Charlton. He was one that went there. I was talking to him one day, and we're just talking about recruiting. And he was like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I looked into it, and I was like, you know what? I really like this school's nice. I like the campus a lot. And basically, the Coach Papaccio ended up reaching out to me, and me and him talked for a while, and then basically it just went from there. And I just ended up where I wanted to be.
They're a lot better off than when Ed was playing there.
Yeah. Now you see, they had this season. Their first two games they ended up beating. I think they had, who did we have? We had I can't remember. They went 2-0, and then they were in a 2-2 game with Virginia, who's 4 seed right now, and they had 2-2 in I think the 5th inning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a program that's doing very well now.
4 against Wake Forest this week coming
this
up.
Week, yep.
Here.
We got 4 against Wake.
Got Ryan Fisher, one of the best pitchers around. A lot of excitement, and you've been up to the school, I'm sure. What do you think of campus?
It's really nice. If you ever seen their indoor facilities, like upstairs, they have the new turf. It's literally like a baseball field up there. You can pretty much run live ABs, do pretty much anything you want. And their weight room and their training room is also just insane too.
Definitely, yeah. It's crazy. Let's kind of switch gears a bit over to Mainland. Not quite the excitement surrounding last year where you come out opening day and obviously you've got 40, 50 MLB scouts every time Chase is pitching, but certainly a lot to come back to. Give us the rundown on what we expect this year.
I think this year we're going to be really slept on. We have a lot of guys returning that are really, really good players. Like we have it's going to be Joe Sheeran, Little Elliott, Sam Wood, Nick Wagner. We have a bunch of guys coming back who really hit the ball. Then we have our one arm last year that returns. I think he was an all-conference arm, I want to say, Will Hoover. We have him returning too. And we also have another guy who's been throwing very, very well, Jared Wilson. So, I mean, we're going to have a chance of making another good run this year. Just everything else that we have to play right.
Yep. And instead of a future MLB star, we got the future country music star this year, right?
John Wood. He's a funny dude.
It's pretty crazy, right? His story and what's kind of how he's sort of not quite the baseball path anybody expected.
Yeah, nobody expects to go from a Division I athlete to a country music star. It's crazy to think about.
For sure. Now, yourself, what are some of the goals that you have, individually as you get ready? Obviously to be a leader, to be, already considered one of the best, catchers in South Jersey and New Jersey. But where do you see kind of looking at your game where you want to make the next steps and show that?
So basically the biggest thing for me was hip mobility. Last season, I had a little bit of struggle. I would say a little struggle with hip mobility, and sometimes it would hinder me from blocking balls. And this year, I've really, really focused on stretching and getting in with people and really being able to work my hips. So now that's pretty much my biggest thing. I needed to work on was actually being able to get down blocking. Because I would get down and block, but it wouldn't be comfortable. But this year, I'm able to move very well, and I just think that's gonna be able to bring my game up even more.
How much was, so that was obviously a big focus in the off season. how did you attack that as a weakness and turn it into a strength?
So I ended up going to guys like Ryan Bucaferni of Peak Performance, and he basically just beat the heck out of me and just had me doing just nonstop workouts. And I also worked with some of the catching guys, and they had me doing like things like 90s and like stepping over hurdles and doing stuff like that just to be able to get my hips to be able to actually function. And now they feel completely smooth.
Yeah, yeah. So mention, obviously you are going to get slept on when people talk about the top teams in South Jersey, and I think that's just kind of a natural. The kid who threw 102 is gone, so
Yeah.
people are going to assume that there's not much there. Why is South Jersey baseball so tough? And these teams, like, they don't. It's not like you ever have a down year. There's always guys there to fill in. There's always, it's always a strong program. What makes it so unique?
I mean, it's like South Jersey baseball. You look at it now, you have, especially the facility over at BPC, they're just producing guys on high school teams that are like on the regular throwing 90, and you have guys having 40 hit seasons. I mean, ever since they've been around, you look at like every team almost has a 90-mile-an-hour arm now. It's like, it's unbelievable. It's like not what high school baseball used to be. You used to have guys throwing 80, 85. Now you have guys throwing 90, 92 on the regular. It's like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, it does. And we got to ask, because like you catch 90 now and you can probably do it with your eyes closed. It's just not
definitely
that
comfortable with it now.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, not even looking, you're catching 90 is boring. What's it like catching somebody throwing 102? I mean, obviously Chase Petty, the first round draft pick, but and everybody says, I know people are like, I can't imagine being a junior in high school in like chemistry class knowing I got to face somebody throwing 102 that day. But what's it like trying to catch somebody throwing 102? I mean,
what made it worse was, not what made it worse, but what was interesting to see, like, he would throw a 102 that would move like 16 inches. So it wasn't like some like 102 ball that's going straight. Like, it's a ball that is coming in and like it has arm side run like you wouldn't believe. And you're sitting there like, but good thing with him was he was dotting up all year. So I was setting up. I was just like, me and him had a talk, like, I'm gonna be in a position, you're gonna throw it and you're there. I just basically everything was me trying to work my thumb under the ball, and it was pretty much coming. I would work my thumb under the ball and just go up, up, up. And that's I worked low to high, which worked best for him throwing, because all of his ball would tail down low.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it was basically me just staying low, and working my thumb up to extension.
What's being the catcher, you seeing guys, hitters on other teams' reactions to that? I mean, you can. Can you think of like anything just really crazy that you remember of guys seeing that for the first time? Just like,
yeah, I remember. Who were we playing? I think we were playing Millville. A kid stepped up to bat first. So Chase's first at bat, he threw his first battery face. He threw 3 straight fastballs at 99 right by the kid. And the second kid comes up, and he was all geared up for a fastball. He threw him a slider. Like, I'm not kidding. I think the kid swung when it was halfway to the plate. Like, it was, and he just looked at me and he was like, "Dude, come on." I was like, "I'm sorry. Like, you got to do it." And I threw him we threw him 2 more. We threw him 2 more sliders, and it was literally like unhittable pitches. He's literally throwing a wiffle ball.
So that you could catch forever. You're probably never going to catch somebody who throws that hard again.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll see 102 again with 16 inches of arm side run.
No, I mean, have you just thought about like how ridiculous it is for that to be like, let alone in the majors, but when you're 16, 17 years old facing other 16 and 17-year-olds?
That's what you're thinking about. Like, what 17-year-old can you name in history that was throwing 102-mile-an-hour fastballs, then breaking off an 86-mile-an-hour slider? Like, it doesn't happen. Like, it's just a freak athlete. And it's not like he was a huge dude either. He's like 6 foot, 6'1", and he was just throwing absolute jets.
Yeah. Rocket fuel. It's crazy. But I mean, obviously the team last year, if it was a one-person team, you wouldn't have had the success that you did.
No.
And, from Mark Elliott to yourself, to Brody, to just, up and down the lineup. One of the big moments I thought last year was courtesy of you, when you were up here playing at Arm & Hammer, formerly known as Waterfront Park.
Yep.
Playing against Don Bosco. They came in as one of the top teams in the state. It didn't quite go that way, but they were still obviously loaded.
Yeah.
And you're down 2-1. Chase pitching, he struck out a ton. I don't remember exactly how many, but he had
He had 13. I want to say like
yeah.
13.
So he had a great game, but you're losing 2-1 into the seventh. Take us through that, and you winning the game.
So basically throughout the game, I was struggling a little bit hitting the ball. They kept throwing me inside, and inside's normally my pitch. And that's like normally what I don't miss. And I had 3 at-bats before that I popped up like shallow left, and I knew I was just missing them. And then that at-bat, first pitch, the kid threw me one low and in, and I was like, all right, it's coming here again. Then he put another one in, and I got back, and I just uncleared my hips, and I got a little bit on the cap. But if I got it more on the barrel, it definitely would have flew a little bit further. But it was an unreal moment, and you saw everybody. We were all going crazy, but it's just happy that I finally put a barrel on the ball and not had another little twinker to left field.
But still a great junior season, right? 35 hits. Again, certainly against solid competition all year. You're seeing guys, aces a lot of the time. Any goals coming into the year as far as hitting?
Hitting this year, so obviously the goal is going to be hitting balls hard every at bat. I mean, home runs are going to happen. I'm not going to try to hit home runs. It's just going to be trying to barrel every ball and looking and actually swinging at curveballs, not just letting them go if it's there. Because, at the next level, you're getting curveballs a lot. That's just how it's going to go. And the guys will throw you sliders, will throw you curveballs. So I want to be able to hit them more efficiently this year and hopefully have a 35, 40 hit season.
I think one thing not everybody knows is you're a heck of an athlete too. I mean, it's not just you're not the old slow catcher. I mean, you got to be a good athlete to catch what you have, but you're under 7 in the 60, I believe, too, right?
Yes, I ran my last one. I ran a 6.78.
Yeah, so way under 7 in the 60, and a little bit faster than what I remember. But still, were you always a catcher, or is that something that you kind of played yourself into?
So initially, I was a shortstop till I was, I don't know, I would say probably 11. And then one day I was like, you know what, I want to catch, and I ended up ever since then. I just started catching. I think my dad was like, yeah, you want to catch one day, because we had no catcher, and I was like, you know what, why not? I ended up catching, and then I just never wanted to stop doing it.
So what do you love most about the catch? Because I've never seen a catcher who's partially in. It's not like I kind of like catching. You got to love it to do it. So why do you?
So I pretty much like it just because I want to be able to control every play and be in every play and like allow my team to run through me. That's pretty much my goal, is to be able to be my best so they are at their best.
Yeah, and leadership obviously really important to you. Got to what do you how do you try to show leadership when you're on the field and you've now, especially when it's you're one of the seniors?
So basically, like me personally, I feel like everything's got to stem through energy, and it's not like, and you see a lot of guys when people make errors, they're like, oh, hard on them, like saying like something. It's like, I feel like personally it doesn't work. Like you have to work with them and be like, all right, we're gonna get the next one, we're gonna pick you up, like just continuously like bringing them up instead of pushing them down, which I just think personally it does not help people out. So that's basically me just trying to be energy and like lead by example and make people realize it's okay, like you're gonna make mistakes. It's just the mental mistakes we can't make. It's got to be physical mistakes that we're making.
Stay focused, play hard, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So when this airs for the first time, it's the Friday before pitchers and catchers, right? That's Tuesday the 8th. That's got to be an exciting, senior year. Get it started first day. I mean, obviously you're working hard before then, but still something about the official first day, right?
Yeah, it's nothing like you wait for like almost a year for it. So you're so amped up and just ready to get on the field.
You go through COVID 2020 season, which pretty much wiped out everything except for some stuff at the end of the year if you got fortunate enough to participate in it. Even last year was kind of a regular season, but smushed about a month. Is part of you just like, this is awesome, we're gonna actually just get to have like a regular full season?
Yeah, so I don't really know like what I guess a full season's like, because my freshman year, I ended up getting injured a little bit. And then my sophomore year, obviously we had COVID. And then last year was that mush together season. So it's like I haven't really got to like experience a real season. So like you remember last year we were playing games like 4 or 5 games in a week. That's a tight schedule. That beats you up. And I'm just excited for an actual season to be able to like, all right, we're gonna have like 2-3 games a week. We're gonna actually be able to practice this year. So I think that's gonna allow us to clean up a lot more.
Yeah, it was a sprint last year. You know, it was like the short weeks were 4 games, and you're right for a catcher especially. That's crazy.
Yeah, definitely is a little nuts.
So some random stuff. You developed an interesting pregame routine last year as far as pregame meals. Tell us about that.
So we would it'd normally be me, but sometimes some of the teammates would go. I would go to Tony Beef. I would have a double patty burger on a grilled cheese bun with a 24-ounce shake. I mean, it's heavy. That's heavy. And those burgers like 1,200 calories, but it's like I don't know. It just was like a pregame ritual. I did it before every game, and it ended up paying off for me, I guess.
Yeah, it's just funny to think about. You know, here I am thinking the biggest problem you got is trying to catch 102, and that's like far from the biggest problem you got during the game.
The big problem trying not to go to the bathroom. That's what I was running into.
That's right. That's right. Favorite music and favorite pregame music.
I'm a big rap guy. I like rap. I mean, country's all right, but before a game, it's all rap. It's just what I like listening to.
So if you're a senior and you're in charge of the pregame mix and whatever, we got rap going.
Oh, for sure. Definitely give me rap. No country before game.
You're going to NJIT, great school, great engineering school. Favorite subject?
I like math. Math's probably my favorite. If I had to be honest, math's probably my favorite.
All right, so it's a legit school for what you like the most. Then
yeah.
Proudest moment on the field, and if you're going to say that hit at Arm & Hammer, then I'm going to make you tell me your second proudest moment on the field because we already talked about that one.
Let's think. Proudest moment on the field. I think not even like me like in general, but like I guess the proudest moment from last season had to be that Triton game because me and Mark Elliott was sitting there. We were down. I think we were down 3 runs. It was like 7-3 or something like that. And then me and Mark, I look over at Mark. I'm like, watch this. I have money that Chase hits a home run here. Chase ends up hitting an absolute nuke, and we end up taking the lead. And me and him were just looking at each other laughing. That was probably I guess I put most confidence in a player at that moment. I was like, that was probably one of my top moments of that year.
Definitely. If you could be D1 at any other sport, we'll take baseball out of the question. It's up to you what sport you'd pick, but what would you pick to be D1 at?
Basketball. Definitely basketball.
Now, is that because you're good or because you really like it?
I'm just okay at it, but it's just, I don't know. It's like a fun sport. You see guys like jumping through the roof, doing crazy stuff. And that would be my go-to. If I was good, that's what my go-to would be.
Favorite college basketball team then?
Favorite college basketball team? Probably Duke. If I had to put one, Duke or Oregon. Those are my top 2.
And favorite pro team, regardless of sport?
Regardless of sport, obviously the Phillies. No other answer besides that.
Well, Eagles could be a viable answer, I think.
Yeah, I just much rather watch baseball game.
I mean, I'm with you.
Yeah, repping the Phillies. That's Mike Adams.
That's right. Would it have been the Phillies if it weren't for Mike?
Definitely would still be the Phillies. Been a Phillies fans way before any of that.
It's just going to make it better when he's they got to come back and play first of all. But once the lockout's over and he gets called up, that's when it'll be even better.
Definitely.
One thing we don't know about Cole Campbell, other than your interesting pregame eating habits.
My favorite thing to do is actually spearfishing. That is my favorite thing. Yeah. Favorite thing to do, spearfishing. Yep.
So you got to go in a little more into detail. How did that happen?
So my dad is a really big fisherman, and he's been his whole life. And I started, I don't know, probably when I was like 5 years old, 4 or 5. And then him and my mom started taking us down to Key West. And then ever since then, I fell in love with spearfishing. It's pretty much my go-to.
Favorite season, summer or winter?
Summer. I don't like winter. Summer.
We don't like the cold. It's good, and you can't live where you are and not be a beach guy. Obviously,
Yeah.
favorite place to go beach wise.
Oh, probably Margate. I'm not a big OC guy. Margate's pretty much where we go every time.
It's not bad down there either. Now you're about
Nah.
not even a half hour from there, right?
Nah, like 15, 18.
Yeah. So one quote that stuck with you through the years, or piece of advice if we're not good at remembering exact quotes, but one piece of advice that stuck with you on the field through the years.
I think probably the most important quote that I've ever been told was from my dad. I've remembered it since 8U baseball is a failure game. You will fail 99% of the time. And from him, that's what I've took and gone by it and realized that you can't get upset over a game. You go 0 for 3. It happens. It's how it goes. Next game, you go 2 for 3, 3 for 3. Just part of how it goes.
Toughest hitter for you to get out as a catcher, calling the game, whatever. But through the years, the toughest guy for you to have to get out when you're behind the plate.
Max Martin by far. He's just one of the guys. I remember last year I threw him a fastball from Chase. Threw him a fastball. He whiffed, but he was right on it. And I was like, all right, I'm not going here again. Slider in the dirt. Fastball, poolside foul ball. So I was like, all right, I'm not letting that happen. Then I gave him a changeup, 1-2 changeup, low and in, and he went inside out. Hit the ball probably 100 miles an hour for a triple in the playoff game against us.
Yeah. Well, at least that's a good one, Max.
He's very, very good.
It's one of the best around. So
Yeah.
we appreciate the time, Cole. Obviously excited like you for May 8th, geez, March 8th. 4 days away, getting out there for the first time the senior year, and let's see where we can take it with Mainland this year.
All right, we'll see. I think we're gonna have a good season. Thank you, sir.
100%. We appreciate it. Cole Campbell, our guest, Jersey Baseball Show. We look forward to seeing everybody at the field.
Have a good one.